Rants of the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. And if you haven't seen them, we're here to correct that. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and going for a jog in the middle of a deathmatch is my co-host and master of none, Ciara.
I only run when I'm being chased.
Now, here at Mono Rants, if there's two things we think a lot, it's that there's too many fucking people on the planet and we really hate kids. So we thought, what better way to sort this out than by having a bunch of kids kill each other? Now, when we thought about it, we figured we'd probably end up in jail, so we just settled for the next best thing and watched Battle Royale instead.
Yeah, I was going to be like, not the Hunger Games.
No, not the Hunger Games at all. The much superior Battle Royale.
Yeah, well, this was originally a novel, which was completed in 1996. It was published in 1999, and within a year...
It was a manga and a film.
It was a manga and a moving picture. Moving picture.
Moving pictures.
Okay,
was just
movable printed type.
You've just gone back to the 1920s
yes.
there, have you?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, it did. This really hit on something in the kind of Japanese culture, the zeitgeist, I suppose, at the time, because it exploded.
The novel was a monster success. And the novel, actually, I was reading through, I've never actually read it. I need to get my hands on it. The plot is very, very close to the film, but I think it actually just fleshes out the backstories of the characters. As opposed to this, where we kind of get to know a little bit about one or two of them. Yeah. And the rest, it's a class of 42.
We don't have time for anything other than their death. Yeah, we don't have time for characterization of 42 students.
No, well, considering they do show the majority of the deaths as well, that's a lot of people to rack through. Plus, there's
I've never actually counted. I assume they show every death.
I'm pretty sure they show the majority of them.
Or at least explain what happened to them in the...
lead up to them. And then I think there's an additional 15 shown through flashbacks of previous winners and stuff like that. So this is really, really not safe for work. This has
quite a violent film.
Yeah, it's insanely violent. Bonus points that they had no stunt doubles.
Oh yeah.
We have the special edition of this, which is very, very fun because of the behind-the-scenes documentary.
The making of is well worth a watch.
The director shouting at them across the gorge is possibly one of my favourite bits, where he's like, now, fall down! Get up! Do it again! You're too close!
I like the bit at the start where they're in the room where they're having it all explained to them.
Yeah.
And the director was he's like, I'm not getting enough out of you guys. And one of the I don't know who he is, just one of the producers or somebody who's crew rather than cast is like, oh, what if we knock over a table to get a bit more of a reaction out of him? And the director's like, I don't want a table knocked over. I want a better reaction from that guy right there. Points at some poor fucker.
Well, speaking of the director, I'm going to possibly butcher the life out of his name.
I didn't even bother writing it down because I knew I'd butcher it.
But he was very, very well renowned within Japan. This was his 50th feature for that.
50th or 60th, I think.
He unfortunately passed away during pre-production of Battle Royale 2.
Yeah, and his son finished it off?
Yeah.
I think his son actually wrote the screenplay for this.
Well, the director is Kenji Fukasaku.
Yes.
And then the screenplay was written by Kenta Fukasaku. I'm going to assume it's...
Well, I know his son did take over the second film, so it would maybe stand to reason. But yeah, no, this film did get I don't remember hearing about it when it came out, but I remember hearing about it when it kind of made it over to Europe. I assumed this was a much older film. I thought this was mid-90s because it did have this kind of, it was the film that somebody's mate's older brother had gotten a hold of. Yeah.
And was like, oh, you need to watch this because it's super violent. And it was very, very difficult to get.
I first saw it on Channel 4, just on terrestrial TV. So it must have been late 2001, early 2002. And I was still in school. And I happened to be the only person who stayed up that night, caught it on TV and recorded it and was telling everybody in school about it the next day. And for the rest of the year, I was the only person who had a copy of it.
Yeah, it had this kind of it was a bit like Spinal Tap. It was one of those films that unless somebody's older sibling or somebody had it and had seen it and had shown it to them.
Yeah, it has. It definitely had that kind of reputation when we came across it. I don't know what reputation.
Clerks was the same. It was
there's loads of films like that.
Yeah, these real underground films.
Particularly here in Ireland, where if you didn't catch it in the cinema, good luck to you fucking seeing it.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to get it anywhere unless you had a really, that little video store that was down the road from you that had the mad section of stuff.
Oh, the anime section.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that in our Crying Female record.
But that would have been where you would have gotten it, or maybe going into town into Tower Records or something like that, or a specialist shop.
Yeah.
But this wasn't like freely available, and it was, oh, you have to watch this film, it's super gory, it's real violent. It had a lot of the same kind of mythos about it that the guinea pig movies had, the older Asian ones that were like old
guinea pig?
Yeah, you never heard of those?
No. Well, maybe I have, but under a different term.
They were another one of these ones where, like, you know, they supposedly killed the people on set, you know, like Cannibal Holocaust and stuff like that.
I was going to go for Cannibal Holocaust, where, there was all these kind of, like... Well, never heard, like, rumours about this, just it was, the way it was spoken about was very similar.
Yeah.
But, like, Cannibal Holocaust, there was the rumours, they actually killed these people.
Yeah, so the guinea pig ones were Japanese exploitation gore horror.
Alright. Not really my bag.
Yeah, they were around the 80s, but it was the sort of thing that, you know, they were like, oh my god, they could get away with it in Japan and actually kill people. The same way, like with Cannibal Holocaust, it was like, they filmed it in New Guinea, so they actually ate everybody.
Yeah.
But it was that kind of thing, and everybody, you know, somebody had it on VHS.
That was me in my school.
I can't remember who had it, but it wasn't allowed to leave the house. But you could come over and watch it.
Well, I was the same. I never let it leave my house because...
In fairness, we have a DVD here that's not allowed leave. Because if I lose, it's out of print.
Oh yeah, we still have DVDs that are like that, where it's like, no, you can come and watch it here, but you're not taking it out of this household.
Leaving.
Not at all. But we've talked an awful lot about the film without saying really anything about it. So
no, but that is like it really was one of these ones that it was a word of mouth spread one. It actually was a movie that you might have seen at a house party.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah, totally. No, I was just trying to lead into a summary there. That's all. Because we're like nearly 10 minutes into the recording.
I know, but this is
I haven't bothered summarising
for us.
Oh god, yeah, it's standard for us. Yeah. But we'll go for a summary. In a near future Japan that doesn't sound all too bad, the Japanese government says, fuck it, let's start killing a bunch of kids because unemployment is kinda high and a few students started protesting. Having won the world's worst lottery, a class of high school students must now play a game run by Beat Takeshi, their old teacher. In an unexpected twist, they must fight to the death instead of dodging hilarious traps and completing obstacle courses.
Yeah, it's Hunger Games.
So it's Hunger Games without any of the extra stuff. Let's just focus on the gore, but better.
And to be perfectly honest, the first time I ever saw the Hunger Games, I was like, that's Battle Royale, but not.
Yeah, now in fairness to Hunger Games, there is a whole lot of stuff outside of the competition going on around
There's
it.
There's a lot of things though actually inside the competition, like the zones and the zones being hostile and things like that, that have translated over into the Hunger Games. Now I've seen Susanna Collins do interviews and I can understand where her thought process going into it as well was completely separate. It's just a case of what do they call it? It's
synchronized something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, like there were two patents put in for telephones within weeks of each other and things get invented side by side. Yeah, it happens. It happens. One thing that I was influenced by this and doesn't try and hide it is PUBG.
Oh god, no.
PUBG with the starting with 100 people and the shrinking map instead of the danger zones, like they full on said, we based this on Battle Royale. It was also the first thing I ever saw Beat Takeshi in, which, in case anybody was confused by the end of my summary there, the teacher in this is Beat Takeshi Takano. I don't know why he's Beat Takeshi, but he's Beat Takeshi. And he is Takeshi of Takeshi's Castle.
And if you've seen Takeshi's Castle, you know exactly what we're on about.
Oh yeah, if you know who he is, you understood my summary.
Yes.
But I never realised just how prolific he is. Initially, this was the first thing I ever saw him in. And then I heard about him and I realised he was the guy from Takeshi's Castle. But he's like a stand-up comedian, he's an author, he's written books. So that's what an author is.
He's an all-round Renaissance
he's made video
guy.
Games. He's made video games. He's probably a level 12 paladin for all I know. But yeah, he's done everything like. And in the making of, one of the students, the guy who gets the axe in the head,
yes,
he brought his band to set to keep everybody entertained, the cast and the crew, and they have a little bit of footage of his band playing. And he's like, "Hey, we're all here to make a film with Beat Takeshi," and everybody goes insane. So he is a huge deal in Japan.
Yeah, no, he is. He actually is. And he was basically told to kind of play himself, like he wasn't given a lot of additional characterization and things like that.
He is brilliant in this. I think it's one of the reasons I love this film so much.
I just like the fact that none of what he does makes sense.
It does and it doesn't. I think you can read a bunch of different things into him because at different watches I've thought his kind of concern over one particular student I thought it was a sexual attraction. Then I thought it was like a fear of family lost. And you can read a couple of different things into it.
Yeah.
But I've just realised that he would have actually been a great villain to talk about when we were chatting with Funny Sci-Fi Podcast the other day.
There's so many villains to choose from.
But he's a really interesting villain because I never really see him as
the villain. He's
just
the employee who happens to run this.
But he is, and he should be. Like, he's the guy who's running the games. But the games are the bad guy.
If he's but he's probably government appointed. Are you going to tell this government, which is willing to round up 40-odd students and set them loose on an island to kill each other, and if they don't kill each other and leave one man standing, they all have these lovely little GPS bomb necklace things on.
Yeah.
And if there's not one person standing by the end, they all die.
And speaking of the necklaces, can I just say props to the director or the prop department for not having the heads explode.
No, it punctures just, straight through.
Yeah, it just blasts a horrible hole in your neck. But I feel like any other film would have had a head explode there.
It's Suicide Squad.
Well, that's kind of the thing in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's bites that blow your head up.
That's 2 Suicide Squad references in 2 in a row. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's because we watched the James Gunn
the good one.
Yeah,
the good one.
So basically this movie opens and it's your regular kind of high school. It's to showcase just how violent things have become. A teacher gets stabbed in the leg. It's a run-by slicing.
Well, now see, this is the thing. The opening crawl says that Japan has basically, society has collapsed. And we're only told...
I think unemployment's at like 10%. And I was 15%.
I'm like, that's not
that high.
And they say that's 10 million people unemployed. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we saw what happened here in 2008.
Yeah.
And a couple, 800,000 students go protesting and like walk out of school and they're like, let's just fucking kill everybody.
Yeah. Now, the novel does have more of the backstory in terms of the movie. They just went... Shit's gone wrong. Totalitarian government
decides to put this plan into place.
This is to kind of scare Ruby straight and to show how powerful the government is. You want to go against us and what we say, fair enough.
We'll take your kids and kill them at random.
Yeah, and it's to stop... Yes, okay, they had student protests, but students are uppity and protest. It's kind of what students do. God knows I spent most of my college time at protests or giving out about things.
Yeah.
It's when you start to get this unemployed workforce mobilising and protesting. That's what I think the government's afraid of.
I saw a lot of people moaning about that in the review, being like, oh, the setup for it is kind of pants, and you wouldn't. And I did just make jokes about it there, but to be honest with you, I don't want a half an hour at the start of this film showing me how shitty Japan is. It's a long enough
film, actually.
Yes, it's nearly 2 hours, and it doesn't feel slow.
And it's a good hour and a half of just carnage.
Yeah, and I think the pacing is beautiful in it, but I think if you started off with a half an hour about why the government is the way it is before going into the deathmatch, it'd be weird and jarring.
It just seems like it's a shadowy, all like Big Brother is watching you style government.
Yeah.
The Battle Royale Act. So every year a school gets picked. They show the winner of the previous year.
She's great.
Yeah, her smile. Yeah. She's just broken. That is a girl that is broken because she's only about 15, I think, as well in it, and she's doused in blood.
Well, the actress turned 15 while she was filming.
On the set, yeah. She's doused in blood and just grinning.
And holding her teddy bear.
Yeah, and there's just cameras and lights and microphones being shoved in her face.
One of the things that I really like about that as well, and that's really early on in the film, is a reporter's like, we can see the winner. It's a girl. This year's winner is a girl. And the implication then is that it's not televised.
No, they just steal these children.
It's not actually like...
Hey, they're the Catholic Church.
Yeah. It's not like they are in the Hunger Games or the bread and circuses of the Roman Empire. It's not about keeping the people... It's nothing to do with the people seeing this as a form of entertainment or even seeing it as a form of terror. It's just, it happens and everybody knows it happens.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're all being told that they're going on a field trip.
Well, they are. It's the end of year class trip.
And they go on the bus and then they all get gassed and somebody wakes up and
it's Ciara, the main character.
And the driver and the bus hostess.
Yeah, she looks like an air hostess but with a gas mask on.
And not shy about pistol whipping him.
Yeah. She's really not.
He wakes up and he's like, what's going on? And she just marches down the bus and like clubs him.
Yeah. Yes,
and they all wake up in this abandoned... They actually did film it all in an abandoned island, which is quite fun. It's just got goats on
they filmed in like 20 different locations.
No, but like a lot of the...
Yeah, anything to do with the island was filmed on that.
On the island.
On an abandoned island. Yeah.
Which just has goats on it, so they had to actually fly everything in.
Yeah, they flew everything in.
Yeah, they wake up in this abandoned building on this island that's been deserted. They've now gone in, mined the crap out of the majority of it, set up traps.
There's no mines or traps. It's just the danger zones. And if you go into one, your collar explodes.
Yeah. And they all wake up in this classroom. Their old teachers sat there, just being like, hi!
Yeah, he's brilliant in that.
You fucked up!
Scene. Yeah. He's great. There's so many things about that opening scene, that scene, that kind of like
when
briefing scene, that when they all wake up, that I love.
I love the instructional video.
Oh, it's great.
The instructional video is very it is extremely stereotypical, insane Japanese TV.
Yeah.
Where it's this girl in like fashionable army gear who's like, you've been selected, congratulations, you're gonna win a prize, and when she's going through, you get a map and a compass and a flashlight, and you get a special, so everybody gets like a unique item. You know, some people get knives, some get guns, one guy gets a crossbow, some people get terrible things like a pot lid,
a paper fan,
one guy gets a bulletproof vest, which handy. So everybody gets something different, and instead of like in the Hunger Games where they pop them all up, they just dump them all in the middle and then make them stand there for 30 seconds going, look at the prize, look at the prize, look at the prize. They get released kind of one at a time, and they all get a bag. It makes it a little bit more fair. Unless you're the first guy out and you get a really good weapon.
Then you could just stand there and slaughter everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the film would be over inside of 15 minutes.
Yeah. But as he's explaining everything to them and they're watching this instructional video.
He's so happy with the video as well.
Yeah, he's going, hi!
Responding to the one as if she's talking to him. It's great.
But he's explaining to them about the bomb necklaces.
Yeah.
There's two girls not paying attention who are whispering in the corner, which is your first bit of like super violence that you get in this. Not super violence, but like shock.
Well, I was saying this to you off air, that this was the thing that made me go in for the film. So I'd watched everything up to this point, and as they're getting the concept of the Battle Royale explained to them, as you said, one of the girls is whispering, he pulls out a knife and throws it straight in her head.
But you see it. It's not a cutaway shot.
Granted, I was 16 or so when I saw this film, but every film I had seen up to this point, when something like that happens, you see the knife getting thrown, you see the person being like, oh no, and then there's a cutaway, and you see them on the ground dead with the knife in there. But you see the knife go into her skull.
Well, you see her drop, and then you see
the knife go in.
And then you see him coming over and like pulling it out of her head, and she's just she's just there.
But it was at that point I decided I'm putting in a VHS and recording this film.
Put tape over the bits so you can tape it.
But yeah, no, that's a shock.
If anyone got that, putting the tape over the bits.
That's a shock when he does that.
Yeah, that kind of sets up the tone for the rest of it. And it's really, watching it now, knowing the characters.
Yeah.
If you watch the reactions to some of the ones that become absolute
where they go later. Yeah.
Later.
Well, that's what I was saying, is one of my why this is one of my favourite scenes, is that the few fun bits like that in life, the way Takeshi is just a weird psycho with the TV, the fact that Nobu gets sliced by Takeshi on the ass cheek, the same place that Nobu sliced him a couple of years previous. But yeah, this film is great for callbacks, because as each of them goes out and gets their bag, you can kind of see what character they're going to be. Some are like, I'll wait for you. Some are like, just grab their stuff and run out like a psycho, terrified. Others just walk out. There's that one girl who fucks the bag back at the soldiers and just walks out the door.
Her mate's just had her neck blown open.
No, it's her mate who gets the knife in the head.
Oh, it's Thingy's crush who gets they get a demonstration on how the necklaces work.
Yeah, it's Shuya's best mate, Nobu.
Yeah, doesn't even make it out the door.
No, there's two that are gone before they even make it out the door.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 42, so they're down to 40 already.
Yeah, but I like the way, and as you said, then later on in the film, how each of the students act is not reflected because it's previous, but at the start of the film, it is set up that way. Yeah,
they have 3 days. That's their time limit.
Yeah.
Japanese people use a slightly different time format. So at noon, and midnight, it resets to 000, which can be kind of confusing if you're not aware of it, because it does display the time on occasion.
Yeah.
So he says noon, and it shows the clock as being 000 p.m.
Yeah.
Little bit confusing.
Do you know, the hardest thing I found about this was there's so many of the names are so similar, and I don't know enough about Japanese culture, but it looks like Shuya, the main character,
there's familial versions.
Yeah, he's Shuya. Well, not even that, but sometimes it's the first name they call him by, and sometimes it's the second name. And when he says his name is Shuya Nanahara, but everybody calls him Nanahara in the way that if I said my name was, I was about to give my full name there.
Yeah, Doxxes. Yeah.
If my name was Mono-san.
There's some call you Mono and some call you Mono-san.
Yeah,
I don't know, it could be...
It can be a bit confusing.
Don't know enough about what is considered to be familiar or not.
Yeah, so the names can get a bit confusing, but there's only really a few main characters that you focus on, those being Shuya, as I said, Noriko, Kawada and Kiriyama, who we haven't really talked about yet, who are the two transfer students who are brilliant. Then Kitano is the teacher, and then Mitsuko, who is kind of one of the other... psycho girls in it. They're what I would call kind of main characters.
Yeah. The rest of them, it's really, really interesting watching them when they first leave, because you've got one guy who's like, he's got a crossbow. And he could literally have just taken up point and just taken them all out one at a time. It all goes very bad for him. There's a brilliant bit in the making of with the actor, because he rolls down a hill. Yeah. Off a bit of it, and it's a bit of a drop as well, like he buckles himself. And in the behind the scenes, he's saying, "Oh, it's great, they're bringing in a stunt guy, I don't have to do it anymore." And it cuts immediately to him standing on the top of the hill again, looking really unimpressed. Yep. And he keeps making him roll down the hill.
Yeah, because there were no stunt doubles in this film at all.
No, but I think he has him do about 7-8 times. So he's like, "You're getting better each time."
Yeah, no, the director definitely seems to be a bit of a perfectionist, but it worked. Like, this film is fantastic. And I was a little bit worried. I haven't watched it in so long. I was a bit worried that it wouldn't hold up, and that I was just looking at it with nostalgia glasses.
Ah, yes.
Thinking about it as 16-year-old me having my mind blown by this film. But no, it still holds up. It's still excellent. It really is.
It's very, very fun to watch how the students split up. Because the boys all kind of go a bit Lord of the Fliesy, and there's ties around the head, and they're all going Rambo.
Yeah,
There's a couple that like team up together.
Yeah.
There's Yukimura, who looks like a bad 80s gangster, because he's the only one not in the uniform. He's in like a black suit.
Kiriyama,
and he's got the mad hair.
Yeah.
He looks like he's there to have fun. He's enjoying this.
Well, he is. We find out later on.
He volunteers to go into it. So that's the type of human you're dealing with. He also gets an assault rifle in his bag.
Well, I love Kawada, the other transfer student. When he gets his bag, he walks out. He stops in the hallway outside, and it cuts back to inside, and Kiriyama is getting his bag, and all of a sudden Kawada comes back in, pushes Kiriyama out of the way, and goes, "This isn't my bag, that's my bag," and throws it back at the soldier, picks up another one and walks out.
Kawada's a really interesting character. It turns out he was
also previously in it.
He had been in 3 years prior.
And won.
Yeah, he'd survived it. He's a fun character. He's the guy who's seen some things. He's like the old vet in the corner who like pipes up with like words of doom.
Yeah, he is. And I love his constant changing.
Oh, his dad's
changing professions. At one point he's helping some people out because he's not quite the bad guy that you expect him to be.
He's using people to his advantage to help him survive.
A lot of the other students are just killing anybody they come across straight away. But
the girls aren't. The girls are doing what teenage girls do best, which is they are going, "You irritated me 3 years ago by doing this thing, so now I'm going to kick her ass." There's another one, there's the brilliant fight between the two girls where she's like, it's
Mitsuko, and I can't remember, I think it's Megumi. I can't remember, but it's definitely Mitsuko.
But they're literally fighting over her stealing a boy. Yeah. She's like, "You knew I liked him and you had to go and sleep with him anyway." Yeah. And they have a massive fight. The girls are either settling old scores or being completely delusional. The four in the lighthouse are the epitome of delusion. Yeah. They're setting up a happy home thinking that they can make their way through this, and they're like splitting up chores and stuff. Yeah. You've got your one who's training.
Now, see, her I really liked.
I was just like, number one, why are you wearing a bright yellow tracksuit? Because they all take their school bags with them. The girls all have a change of clothes, and actually...
Quite a few of them do change.
Most of them do change. One of them's living the life of Riley. She's putting her makeup on. She's washing her face.
Yeah, but I think that...
She's also psycho, which is
She's
great
a psycho,
fun.
but I think that is another... Because remember, I was saying there's a lot of like nice little callbacks and subtle setups. She then later on, you see her walking away from 2 naked dead boys' bodies.
Yeah.
And I think she was prettying herself up to sleep with them.
Kill them. That's totally her MO.
Yeah. But speaking of where she
seems to have when I was reading kind of the character descriptions from the novel, her character in particular, there's 2 main gangs in the school.
Yeah, I know. I remember you saying it to me, and it was the fucking trope of she was sexually abused, so now she uses her sexuality to put herself
But she's
ahead.
playing the game. She's using everything she has
in this context it's not as bad, but that trope does get used
that's not at all mentioned in the film, but it does seem to be that she's a bit of a lunatic.
Oh yeah.
She's known anyway before going into this that she is a crazy horse.
Yeah.
Her introduction actually when she finds the girl in the shed and she's the girl with the taser.
Yeah.
And the girl, number one, the girl's there with the taser going, who's there? And she just lifts up the torch slowly.
To her face, yeah.
And
she plays Sinister so well so many times in this film. She is really good as the girl who plays Sinister.
They're the way a lot of the bad guys, as it were, are framed, there's no doubt that they're the actual proper villains of the piece.
Yeah. But back to your girl in yellow.
The girl in yellow.
I can't remember her name, so we're just calling her the girl in yellow.
Yeah, well, she's out running. She's out jogging, and you get a flashback to her out with one of the other guys, like back in the real world.
I can't remember which one.
She's jogging, and he's on a bicycle, and he's checking her time and stuff like that, and they're having a weird little conversation. And it actually is cut really nicely because it's like, where did he get a bicycle on the island? Yeah,
first you think it is, and
then
you realise...
You think it's actually happening in real time, and then she cuts down off the
alleyway.
Road onto an alleyway.
Sorry.
It's trees.
Not an alleyway, a pathway.
A rustic alleyway,
it
were. And he's not there, and you realise that it's a flashback.
Yeah, it's done very well.
But why? Why, for the love of God? You are running for your life. You don't need to run any further.
I think she is just supposed to be, and that's why she's in the yellow tracksuit. Very obvious, as you said.
Well, she actually went on to be in Kill Bill.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino loved her performance in this and got her for this.
This is one of his favourite films.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But her performance in this, I can see why he picked her.
Yeah.
Because... just to the point of the yellow suit, I think she's wearing it because she's trying to kind of remind herself of a semblance of normality and go back to a time when she was comfortable. So she's doing her routine. She's wearing the tracksuit she always wears when she goes running. But yeah, the way she plays that scene when the guy shows up.
Oh, the guy who was on the bicycle, or...
No, the guy who shows up and threatens her.
Who's like, do you want to die a virgin? Come on, let's have sex with me. Because that's how it works.
Yep.
How about you wash your face?
Well,
you take the tie off your head and you go away.
But he comes up to her and he says that, and it turns out that she says that he started a rumour back in school that she was sleeping with a bunch of people. And then...
Because she wouldn't sleep with him. Because that's what you do.
And then he's like, but you're a virgin. And she's like, did that idiot really just ask me that?
No, but he also implies that the guy who was cycling...
with her her boyfriend never actually...
Is he her boyfriend?
Well, see, this is where I get confused because the guy who comes to her aid later on, I thought was supposed to be the guy
on the bike.
Yeah, and I thought the guy in the flashback, it looks like the guy on the bike is into her, but then later on, it's made explicitly clear that he's not into her, and I think he's just supposed to be really good friends with her.
Yeah, he helps her train or whatever.
There's a few things like that are a bit confusing, and honestly, it's probably just that I'm a little bit racist and can't tell the difference between all of the characters. Some of them do look similar.
They do, especially when they're all covered in gore.
Yeah, and I don't, as I say, it might just be me being a little bit racist and not being able to differentiate between... like, I'm holding my hand up here, and I'm being honest, I find it hard sometimes. It does
get difficult. There is also 42 of them, and they're dropping like flies. And for a lot of them, you only either have seen them in the classroom sequence or when they die.
Or when they're running a bit. Yeah, so
when they die. So it It can be forgiven for mixing up a few people, especially a lot of them have very extremely similar haircuts.
Yeah, they're all in the same uniform.
They're all in a school uniform, and unless it's something really notable, like...
Well, I think that might be why they put...
A lot of them do...
Mitsuko changes
yeah.
into her fancy clothes, and the girl in yellow gets into the girl in yellow, because they do have longer scenes than anybody else. So yeah, it's. I think it is just to help you separate them out.
And then you've got ones that have notable wounds. Noriko has her arm all bandaged up where she gets shot.
Well, she's always with Shuya, so that helps to identify
Shuya
her.
has the most amazing fluffy hair. How dare he?
Oh yeah, you were a bit upset at how beautiful his fluffy hair was, weren't you?
Yeah, but you can also see where anime takes the inspiration as well from various hairs. How dare his hair be that soft and silky and fluffy?
Yeah.
How dare he?
Speaking of Shuya and Noriko, they're not terrible characters, but there's not an awful lot to them.
No, they're running for their lives, and that's kind of it.
Well, I want to say
they also don't have weapons. They got a pot lid and
he got
binoculars?
A pot lid and she got binoculars. And his pot lid comes in useful, and so do her binoculars.
Yes.
But yeah, there's not a lot. When I say there's not a lot to them, there's not a lot of backstory and stuff to them.
No.
But I do like the relationship that develops between them, because initially she's into him, and Nobu, Shuya's best mate who dies at the start, is into her. And that's why he decides he's taking it upon himself to protect her, because it's to honour his best friend's
love interest.
Yeah, dying wish type thing. And
if it makes sense, if it helps, they're 15 and stupid.
Yeah. But then he kind of it's not even clear that he becomes romantically interested in her. Even by the end of the film, he just still wants to protect her.
Yeah.
And by the end of the film, without giving anything away, they're still not 100% safe, so he still does need to protect her.
Yeah, well, shared interests, shared experiences form bonds.
But she is definitely into him.
Yes.
You can see it at the start on the bus trip, but the thing that I think really hammers it home, and I only noticed...
Oh, the picture?
Yeah, I only noticed it for the first time on this watch, was the picture. At the start, they take a picture, and it's Shuya, Nobu, and Noriko. And you get a look at it. Once or twice in the film, but not much. And then a good bit later, when the two of them are down with Kawada, and he's talking about...
Oh, when he has his big reveal moment of, I was actually in one 3 years ago, I tried to save my girlfriend Keiko. He tells that story, and he has the photo of her, which is remarkably similar to of him and her together, which is remarkably similar to the one the three had taken at the start.
Because Noriko says to him, he tells the story about what happened in his time on Battle Royale, and he says that he's not sure maybe she ever did love him, and Noriko says, no, she did. Look at this photo. She said, the smile in that photo, she loves you. She said, if that was me, I'd be thankful that you had given me a reason to smile like that, and I'd trust you forever. And
you can see the penny drop.
She casts a little look at Shuya, but not much. But Shuya, you can see him turn and be like, oh... I remember that photo we took earlier, and that's the kind of smile you have in it. And
Once
it's a
again,
nice little touch.
They're 15, 16, and idiots.
Yeah, but no, it is.
If anybody remembers boys when they're at that age, they're all stupid.
I try not to remember my teenage years, to be honest with you.
And that becomes really apparent as it goes on, that the girls are either setting up little camps for themselves and like having bases, and either banding together to be delusional, or to try and... Well, there's a lot of them end off themselves.
Well, there's four
suicides.
Four of the people playing, for the students playing the game, commit suicide. There is another couple of suicides in the film, but unrelated to this the students.
Because you've got two that jump off a cliff.
Yeah. Well, one jumps off and kind of pulls
the other one with them.
Who's a bit hesitant.
And then there's two that hang themselves.
Yeah. And the girl who pulls the guy out, she doesn't pull him off the cliff, but she kind of cajoles him. She's the one who throws the bag back at the start and says she won't play. So she stuck to her guns.
Yeah. Yeah, the girls are either setting up shop and like hauling themselves into little places. Yeah. The boys are just running around like lunatics. Most
of the boys have gone Lord of the Fliesy.
Yeah, the two that were like, this is a great place to stop and have sex with, this one who everybody seems to have been afraid of before going into the game. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they were asking for it.
Yeah,
they were asking for it.
Dying with your lad out.
Yeah, dying with your lad out.
It's an embarrassing death.
But I do like the kind of, I was going to say the variety of deaths. But not
there
so much the variety of deaths, but the variety of ways things go down, because there's some accidents.
There are some escalations that are extreme.
That are very extreme. And to go back to the girl in yellow, the way she seems to be playing the game is, I'm not going to attack you unless you attack me. Because even the guy who's trying to get it on with her, he even threatens to force himself on her. She basically says, look, either get out of my way or I'm going to assume that you mean me harm and we're going to, I'm going to go for you. And he's like, you're just saying that. And she pulls out the knife and is like goading him. And just the way she plays that scene is fucking brilliant.
Where it's like, did you just say you're going to rape me?
And plus, she's like, okay, so that's it. You said you were going to rape me. You're still not fucking off. I'm having you. And she does have him.
She goes quite a violent manner.
Yeah. In quite a violent. He deserves it.
Yeah, it was like, bitch, run!
Yep.
You can't outrun her. And then you get the brilliant girl fight after that, because as that fight's going on, you've got Mitsuki. She shows up at the end of that She's
scene.
standing in the bushes watching it.
Yeah.
With a great big smile on her face, being very happy. And then when your one's kind of done, and she stands up, Mitsuki's like, hi!
Yeah.
I saw what you did.
Yeah, and now I'm going to go for you.
And then the running and the chasing with the firing of the gun. And fair play to that actress, because she nearly snots herself.
Oh, she does. There's one point where
scene.
she nearly goes down, like sliding.
It would have been both feet up in the air, flat on the back, and she saves it.
Yeah.
Now, if I did that now, I wouldn't be able to walk for about 5 days because I would have pulled my back so badly.
Sorry, you reminded me there a minute ago when you were talking about when Mitsuko shows up to attack Yellow Girl and Yellow Girl runs away. She meets the guy that we can't decide is a boyfriend or not. The one who was following her on the bike. Before he goes out, he says to her, I'll wait for you. And then we don't see him, but eventually they meet back up and he says, I waited for you, but you ran out of there at top speed, didn't you? And there was no way I could ever keep up. And again, it's just, there's loads of nice little setups and then callbacks in this film where it might just be a throwaway thing, like he's saying, I'll wait for you. And that flashback scene could just be there for the sake of showing us that she is still trying to go about her normal routine.
Yeah.
But then it comes full circle back when the two of them meet and he says, I waited for you and you're too fast. And there's loads, like with the smile thing and the photograph, there's loads of just little small setups and callbacks in this that are just beautiful.
Yeah, you're literally only getting a snapshot of what has happened in these people's lives, and it's all you know of their backstory is what is disclosed in these 3 days.
Yeah, and for some of them, you get a bit more.
Some of them, his mom passed away.
Yeah,
and then his dad committed suicide. So he's like left in foster care, and that's the whole deal with him and the best friend is they're in foster care together and they look after each other. So his death is this majorly devastating thing for him, because this is he's got nobody in the world now, so that's why he's going to look after his best mate's crush, because
his best mate's gone too. Yeah, with the dad and the suicide shot, I saw a bunch of people online talking about how the pants are down. Because you come in and you see the dad hanging and he's got a suicide note written in toilet paper kind of hanging off him.
Yeah. And
he's got a cord around his neck, but I'm pretty sure it's his belt. And his pants are down kind of around his ankles. And I saw a bunch of people online going...
he's kneeling.
No, but his pants are down.
Yeah, they are down.
And I saw a bunch of people online being like, was this autoerotic asphyxiation?
No,
I was like,
don't leave a suicide note with that.
You're
himself, generally in lingerie.
He probably hung himself with his belt that was around his trousers and then his trousers fell down. He was not dying. He did not write a suicide note and then think, I'll jerk it.
That says, go shoe ya, go.
Yeah, I'll jerk it once before I die.
Yeah.
No, that's not what happened.
He came and went in the same breath.
Bitch, that's recycling. But it is. I really, really love this film, and the suicide thing is something that I only appreciated even more this watch through, because you picked up on something that I had never picked up on before.
It's just an assumption. I don't even know if it's actually right.
Well, no. If anybody speaks Japanese that is listening to us,
please let us know.
Please pay attention to what we're about to say and answer our question for us, because I always thought that there's like, I won't call them title cards, but they kind of are like chapter headings. The screen goes black and subtitles come up. And there's a
voiceover generally.
Sometimes it's a voiceover, sometimes it's a guy, sometimes it's a girl. But I always thought that those little captions that come up on screen are just kind of like framing devices about what's happened or what's coming next or what's going on in Shuya's head.
Whereas I think it's excerpts from the suicide note, because you never get to see the whole thing.
Yeah, when you first see the dad, when you see the dad having committed suicide and you see the suicide note, it comes up on screen in subtitles saying, go Shuya, go. You can do it, Shuya.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole roll of toilet paper with Japanese icons all over it, so there's no way it just said, go Shuya, go. So you then think that it's the rest of the note coming up. And it fits for both, because it fits for what would be written in a suicide note, and it fits for what's going on in the film and or Shuya's head.
Yeah, because even if it's not Shuya who's doing the voiceover.
No, well, it's a girl at one point, so it's definitely not him.
But it does, when you track them across the course of it, it does make up.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. You only pointed it out about the fourth one that came up, and I meant to go back and watch them all, but
it's an assumption it's just the assumption I always had of it, was that because they do seem very out of place and they aren't exactly chapter headings.
No.
And it always seems to be happen after the death of somebody who's important to Shuya.
Yeah.
Because the first one comes up after the friend dies.
There's one or two that come up. There's the one that I mentioned that's said by a girl.
Yeah.
And when it happens, it could fit for what's we've just seen on screen, but also for her, but also for Shuya. So yeah, I'd be interested if anybody speaks Japanese.
I am dying to get my hands on a copy of the book. I'm going to go look for it after this, because I think that might answer a lot of my questions.
Yeah, I'm hoping it might. And also,
that's if there's
as much as we hate it, there was no dubbing option for this film, so we had to watch it in subtitles, so we couldn't get any extra context around the suicide note. And when I went looking online, I could find nothing about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you speak Japanese, go
if you
watch
read
that
Japanese,
film. Yeah, so if you read it, go and read it and tell us if that's what it is.
Please.
Because because
I'm this close to taking photos of it when it's stilled and putting them into Google Translate, and God knows how that'll turn out.
No, I do honestly.
Please do not make me Google Translate.
I think you're right about that one. I really do. That's what it is. It's the suicide note, and it's also used as a framing device, and it would fit for the kind of the rest of the stuff in the film.
That's always the assumption I've had for it, and it was.
No, but it was when you said to me, it was like a click, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, why would they always hark on back to, why would you see the father's suicide if it wasn't something of importance? Because they all kind of, some of them do have like sob stories and stuff, because the only other person you get a lot of backstory of is your man who's got the other two guys with him, and he's setting up to hack into the whole thing and shut it down. The guy with the mad militant paramilitary uncle.
Yeah, I actually, the whole time we were watching it, I remembered his character's name, and now I've completely forgotten it.
Yeah, basically, he's the kid whose uncle was in the rat.
Yeah, and has the anarchist cookbook.
And is like blow up the guy. He's got a bomb detonator that they were going to use to blow, like the uncle was going to use to blow up Parliament. Yeah, so
yeah, well, that's not even backstory for him. It's just backstory for his uncle, and you can tell that his uncle is a big deal to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, even Noriko doesn't get much in the way of backstory, and she's our main female protagonist.
Yeah, she gets a weird dream sequence, and that's about it.
Yeah, that is pretty much all she gets.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, there's 42 kids here.
Yeah.
And a couple of ancillary characters. We don't have time to flesh out all of them, especially as most of them are going to die.
Yeah.
And speaking of deaths, there is one that I do really like that I think.
Can I point out, some of them don't go down as easily as they should. Some of those guys keep getting back up.
They do keep. Yeah.
Some of them went to the Stormtrooper School of Aiming.
Well, particularly Kiriyama the Psycho went to the Stormtrooper School of Aiming.
Also, he has bottomless ammunition.
He has endless ammunition. Doesn't understand how a bulletproof vest works.
No.
And is a sadist of the highest order, because one of my favourite bits because he never speaks in the whole film.
No.
But one of my favourite bits to just show you just how nasty he is when there's two girls who are trying to get everybody to stop fighting.
Yeah.
And they're using a megaphone, which of course attracts attention. Psycho guy shows up and kills the both of them.
Ooh, he shoots him in the back.
But one of them is still rolling around, not quite dead, and he kicks her in the stomach, so she rolls over onto her back, and then picks up the megaphone, holds it to her mouth so that everybody who's nearby can hear her moan, and then shoots her a couple more times.
Yeah, you can hear all the whimpers and the crying.
And it's just so
but he
sadistic.
Volunteered to be
I know, but it really gets across the point.
But I was also saying this afterwards. What do they do with the winners? Because this person has just slaughtered their entire class. That's not somebody you want back in society.
They put them back in school.
Because
Kawada says that.
What class do they go into? You would be terrified of them.
Yeah, Kawada says, he's like, after I won, I went back to school thinking it was all behind me, and then I woke up fucking here.
Yeah, well, he's basically kidnapped.
Yeah, he gets kidnapped from school like everybody else does.
And put back into it.
The winners just win.
What class do you go into? Your class is all dead.
Yeah, and nobody would want you to be joining their class.
Oh God, no. get away from me. Actually, no, maybe you think, if they joins our class, we'll be spared. But nobody's going to fuck with you. Yeah. Nobody's going to fuck with you. Nobody's going to talk to you either. Like, it's going to be a very sad, lonely existence. Never mind the fact that you, like, butchered. Unless you managed to go through the whole thing hiding up a tree. Yeah. And, you know, by some serendipitous event, everybody, like, fell off a cliff or something. Yeah. You have blood on your hands.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. There's not much of a way that you can get through it without killing people, with the exception of there's one character in this film who doesn't shoot or kill or hurt anybody. Who? Noriko.
Oh, yeah. She just screams a lot and cries.
She does an awful lot of screaming, yeah. But her and Shuya, I think you started to mention it earlier, they never really have weapons throughout the film either. They never have weapons either.
Anytime that seems to be everybody's downfall.
Anytime they come close to getting a weapon, somebody else shows up and scares them off, or something happens that they can't get it.
Speaking of weaponry, some of them use the weapons in a really non-traditional fashion.
The scythe?
The scythe that's handled sticking, like, it's not blade into the person. Yeah. It's handle sticking into the person with the scythe. Like,
just a cutaway when they're doing the
roundup of death of the day.
This person, these two girls got killed, and you see them lying out on the beach. One of them has just a knife in her chest, and the other one, has a scythe sticking out of her, but handle sticking into her, and the blade's just there.
Out, yeah. Yeah. That's not how you scythe.
No, but I like that they never really have any weapons. Shuya gets a gun at one point, fires it more or less uselessly against Kiriyama, and then loses it. Yeah. And then doesn't use the weapon again. Yeah, doesn't use the weapon again until the very end of the film. And I like, that he does seem to be more concerned with keeping her alive and not killing everybody else to keep her alive.
Yeah. You've got the 4 girls in the lighthouse who've set up shop and are living a Stepford wife fantasy.
Yeah, that's fun. I don't want to go into that too much because
they're great fun.
They are great fun. It's one of the best scenes in the film.
Yeah, no, apart from that, you don't really get much more. You've got Shuya and Noriko, who are the two, they've teamed up with Kanata. Well, they kind of end up as a little group trying to help each other. They all have the same kind of motivations. You've got What's-His-Face who's trying to hack into everything, and his 2 little helpers. Yeah. Because he's making he's making pipe bombs. Yeah. He's actually making pipe bombs. Yes, he is. You've got the girls in the lighthouse who are just doing their own thing. And then you've got the 2 nut jobs who are just hunting down everybody else.
Yeah, Mitsuko and Kiriyama. And then, everybody else is just basically
kind of scattered around. They stumble
cannon fodder was what I was going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just bait.
They are. But is there anything else in this that you particularly like? Not plot details, just in general, like?
I think it's the way it's shot is very stylish.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of use of wide shots that are really useful for the sense of isolation from everybody else. It's effective. Really.
The fact that they actually shot it on an abandoned island, so the big facility that they're using was pre-existing on the island.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the island had been domesticated,
Yeah, but I could be wrong because IMDb trivia is often wrong.
I think at least the exteriors, because they did blow up that Jeep, and they said they didn't have to worry about burning down anything.
Or maybe they did that there.
Yeah, they did that there. Like, there was certain things they were able to do on the island, and because this island had been inhabited and it was abandoned because there's no fresh water supply on it, you do get all these rundown old buildings. A lot of the infrastructure that was already on the island has broken down, which just aids this sense of abandonment and isolation. Like, nobody's going to help you.
No. Nobody's
going to help you here. One thing I would have liked to have seen, the assumption is they go in and they round up all the bodies afterwards, because as they told them during the intro, their parents have been notified. Yeah. It would have been like to have seen traces of previous Battle Royales.
Yeah, that would have been interesting, but...
it would have gone a bit gory, but just to have seen, like, say, maybe somebody came across something in one of the houses, like, fucking JR was here or whatever.
Yeah, that would necessarily... Yeah, if not bodies.
But just something that said, I was here, I was alive.
Or a couple of blood stains here and there. Yeah, elements of the... But then they never say that it was always on the same island or anything.
One would assume they used the same island.
I don't know why, but you know when Kawada has his flashback to his Battle Royale, for some reason I always assume that's in a different place. And it's only
looks like it does now. Mind you, all them. I don't want to know what happened in his one, because there's a lot of people dead in the same area. His one looked real nasty. Like, that looked like it was a massive melee brawl in one location.
Yeah, they just set them all loose in a 100-meter square area instead of a 10-kilometer square island.
Yeah, that's what his one really looks like. I just assume they just continuously use this island because they know where everything is. Like, if you have to go out and search it. If you're searching for bodies, you don't want to be searching a new island every year.
Yeah, no, I do. The use of like wide shots is really good. And just the way it's framed a lot.
Quite liked the fact that they use that real old Hollywood technique for shooting night shots.
Oh, when they shoot night for day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only once or twice, but it adds a weird...
But it has that weird nostalgia thing for me as well, of older films have it.
Yeah.
Where they've shot it during the daytime and then they've just filtered it.
Yeah.
And it gives it this kind of, you get that beautiful cobalt blue sky. And it works really, really well in this for like early morning, late evening shots. Like, obviously it's not going to work for pitch black.
Yeah.
But to convey time
Dusk.
moving on.
Yeah, no, it is. Visually, it's a very pretty film. It's not just that it's gory. Like, when it's gory, it's great, but outside of the gore, there is some really lovely shots. Like,
yeah. Well, Thingy walking through the flames.
Oh, that's good. Well, that Kiriyama in the flames with the
bleeding eyeballs.
The bleeding eyeballs and the just pure white in the eyes is such an iconic shot. It's just brilliant. It really is.
I'd love to actually see that in the manga.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, actually.
He looks like a manga character.
Well, no, I'd be interested to see if the film... Well, which came out first, the manga or the film? I think it's the manga. And if the film took visual cues from the manga.
Yeah.
Because I always just assumed it was based on the book.
But he also has that very stereotypical Asian villain look about him, where they tend to have the sharp black suit.
Yeah.
He
definitely has that Yakuza vibe.
Yeah, he's got like the real bad gingery bleach job.
Yeah.
With the hair sticking out all over the place, and then the complete disregard for his own safety by the way he runs and shoots everybody. And he's just like running full on at people.
Yep.
There's no serpentine, there is no use of cover.
Yeah.
Like he's not even trying to be quiet. He's just like, hello, here we go.
Yeah, for a mute character, he's hella fun.
Yeah, for a mute character, he's the loudest one of them.
I think one of the only other bits that's worth mentioning, but without going into too detail, is Takeshi's ending.
Oh.
Takeshi's ending, it's just...
Takeshi's a character in this is one of the main reasons why I want to get the novel.
Yeah, his
character is really bizarre. It's like there's something else going on there. I don't know if they were supposed to go into it more in Battle Royale too.
No, I kind of like what we get out of him, that he's so vague, and what I get from him is that he's done with everything. He's done with kids, he's done with school, he's done with life, and this is kind of his... Yeah,
it almost feels like this is kind of his punishment for his being a good government lackey.
Yeah, or he just
he's in charge of this death fest now.
I think he just doesn't care anymore. And it's everything is past saving. And
I also like that he won't let any of the soldiers have the cookies.
Yeah.
He's like, no, my cookies.
There's some brilliant bits throughout it where he won't give them the cookies, and just little small things like, with the TV where he's talking back to the TV. But his ending is just, I don't want to say anything about it, but it's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
It's an interesting little film. You could lose yourself more and more into it the more you watch it.
Yeah, no, there's and the more we've watched it had been quite a few years since we've watched it, but I'm still getting new things out of it. I had never picked up on Noriko's smile before.
Yeah.
Then obviously the suicide note subtitle thing.
Yeah.
I had never picked up on before. So yeah, no, there is not deeper stuff in there, but it's not just a gore fest.
No.
It's not just a gore fest. I wouldn't say that it's very heavily satirical or anything like that. The book might be a lot more so, certainly from what you read to me.
The book is described as a science fiction horror.
Yeah.
It's a dystopian future. This is used as a control method.
Yeah, no,
by a shadowy government.
Yeah, and I think in the second film they go into the government side of it a bit more, probably just because people complained about it a lot in this.
But it also follows the trope of every young adult novel that's set in a dystopian future, which first one is horrible event, second one is take down the government.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Like, Hunger Games does it, Divergent does it, they all do it.
It has also been years since I've watched the second one, but the second one is nowhere near as good.
No, it is kind of garbage.
I wouldn't call it garbage, but it's definitely not the same as this. It's a more of a straight action film.
Yeah.
A lot of gun battles and stuff like that. But it's one hell of a film. It is one hell of a film. Definitely a cult film. Definitely been seen at a lot of house parties over the years.
Yeah, do not show this to anybody under 16 though. No, it is.
Somebody who can handle it.
Yeah, it is a lot of violence.
Yeah.
If you are of a nervous disposition and do not like blood, do not watch this movie.
So we did promise last week that we'd do something with a little bit more substance, and I think this definitely has substance.
Yes.
Violent substance, but substance nonetheless. But yeah, definitely a little bit more of a good film than last week's.
Yes. Well, it is a cult classic for a reason. It was the highest grossing film in Japan the year it came out.
And still one of their top 10 grossing films of all time.
And still considered to be, because of who the director was it's still held in extremely high regard within Japanese cinema.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't get that in Western cinema.
No.
Where a real gory film is held to a massive high regard just because of the director.
Yeah, like the only one I can really think of that would have been a rated R that came out recently is Deadpool, and that wasn't even to do with the director. That was just like, we're getting an R-rated version of Deadpool that's actually accurate.
Yeah, and that was more about the comedy than
anything else.
Than the violence.
And the fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it is. If you haven't seen this film, I highly recommend you watch it.
Yes.
I would say if of all the films we've covered, apart from Extraordinary, watch this first. Watch Extraordinary first. That's still one of my favourites. But we will be back next week, guys, with our usual undecided film.
Yes.
No idea what, because we never do, because that is Mono Rants. I think at this point, if we know what we're doing next week,
if we know what we're doing, the DVD doesn't work.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Because we were like, we're going to do Daybreakers. That's right, we're going to do Daybreakers, and the DVD has actually melted like halfway through.
Yep.
It actually has a melt spot on it.
Yeah.
And we were going to do Fallen, and we discovered that our DVD is region 4, which is Australia and New Zealand, whereas we're region 2. It's Europe. And the last time we put a region 4 into the Xbox, it killed it.
Yeah, so let's not do that again.
No.
But we will be back. We will always be back, and we will never know what we're going to be back with.
No.
But rest assured, we will.
It will also be as much of a surprise to us as it is to you.
Probably, yeah. But in the meantime, guys, if you'd like to get in touch with us or send us your own rants, you can follow us on Twitter at rantsmono. You can follow us on Instagram at monorants_the_boys. Or you can send us an email to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll catch you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Monorants.
We are One Chord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Sci-Fi.